From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Hey, y'all, it's Caroline Gant.
Hey, y'all, it's Austin Lowen.
And did you miss me? It's Tyler.
Yeah, we did.
He's back. I sat in your seat last week.
You did?
It was weird.
Yeah, to record.
It wasn't warm when I got back, so
I wasn't sitting
tell.
in it for that long. Ben was sitting where I sit.
No
Yes.
way.
He was.
You had Ben on the show.
It
We
was
did.
For the intro. Yep.
It was fun.
He did great.
Yeah, Ben's a great guy.
Well, we might have him back again, right?
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure we will have him back.
I mean, we're talking about maybe having more people on at some point, just to bring them in, talk gardening, whatever we want to talk about,
Little podcast nugget for you.
Yeah,
All the things.
I think that'd be fun. Mm-hmm. And Tyler, what you brought back to us was some rain.
Yes.
We finally got some.
You did.
Yes,
We were in a heavy drought, and it was nice to get it.
it was.
It was nice for us to get a little bit of moisture up here, but I know for parts of the country it was not so wonderful.
Yeah.
It's like a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel
So-
bad for those folk.
Our hearts go out to those folks, and we hope your recovery is smooth and as painless as possible.
For sure. For us, we've had a little bit of recovery. The
Yes.
grass is perked up and green again. I know mine is. It looks great. It's actually grown a little bit. It's fluffy.
I doubt we're in a drought.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
what it seems
think
like
so.
now.
Nope. Everything filled back up. My creek.
Your creek.
My creek did not flood, so that's great.
That's
Thought it was.
surprising. I thought it would have flooded.
Yeah, I know.
So is your soggy bottom soggy again?
Yes, it is. Just how I like it.
Just how you like it.
Uh-huh.
There is a lot of stuff that's happening. My cat mint, which I'm actually going to show Austin a picture of, I took a picture of it while I was leaving my house this morning because it looked so lush.
It is. This is a good picture. Has a fluff ball of leaves
Is it in a container?
No,
Negative.
it's
Okay.
on the ground.
spilling over into your sidewalk.
It's beautiful. It would drive you crazy if you lived there, but I let it spill over the side of my sidewalk. It's big. It's a mounding.
Yeah.
That one is Walker Slow
Nice.
cat mint.
Well, ironically, I chopped my cat mint that was in my container because it was looking very tired, yellowed, and leggy.
How's it look now?
It terrible.
Oh.
I mean, it's.
Solid.
I mean, I just did it on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Well, you're good. You know that's coming back.
I feel it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything's wet now.
Oh, it is.
It just, it looked really sparse. And when plants aren't sparking joy like that, what? Caroline's
Sorry, I just realized I had a nightmare about my garden last night.
Oh no!
Did not mean to side rail us, but I dreamed that I woke up after all this rain. My whole front garden bed was dead, like it had been underwatered. Like these hydrangeas I just planted, like the leaves were totally down by the stems.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to side rail, but
No.
you just made me realize I had a terrible, terrible nightmare about that.
Well,
Weird.
did you wake up and go outside and hug your plants?
Nope.
No. Well, hold them close when you get home.
I will. I'll be happy to see him again.
Yes. So cat mint, it was looking really rough and ragged, and there was no coming back from that. And sometimes you just gotta chop it.
I say that all the time. I love chopping stuff and getting a reflush.
I've chopped mine twice this season, maybe 3 times,
It's pretty incredible.
and it just flushes right back.
It's quick, too. Quick response.
Another thing I chopped, and I'm not sure if I should have or not, are my little tiny, spindly little lavender bloom stalks.
Oh, yeah.
They're like so.
That should be fine.
Yeah.
I actually cut my lavender back not too long ago because it was just not looking like I wanted it to look with all the drought and heat we'd had.
Mine is looking phenomenal, as the name implies. But
Look at
it
you.
hasn't had much growth, like hardly any vertical growth. Maybe like 3 to 6 inches this year.
That's crazy because you and I got the same one and planted at the same time, and mine was like a shrub.
Yeah.
That happens all the time, though. Y'all know how it is. I mean, you can plant
That's true.
something somewhere in another spot and another one in another spot, and they're totally different.
Every plant has a different personality.
Well,
I don't know about that, Caroline.
Well, in my yard's personality, it's struggle.
It's a little struggly right now. Man, my garden beds actually look pretty good. I planted more seeds in another raised bed right before we got that first day of rain before the big rainstorms came through. And within a couple days, they had all sprouted. So right before all the rain came, they were up.
Good.
Now I bet they're even bigger.
I'm sure.
I'm going to have so many greens. Y'all get ready.
What are you talking about, like kale and collards and stuff?
Kale, radish, mixed greens, spinach, bok choy, some other stuff. Can't remember.
You're
off the top of my head.
inspiring me to start some stuff up.
Yeah, it's that time, Tyler.
It is.
It is that time.
Yeah.
I used Earth Mix earthworm castings, the top inch. I didn't mix it in. I just put it on top and put the seeds under.
Oh, no wonder they sprouted so fast.
Oh, yeah, they're happy in that.
Well, speaking of green things, I have additional tomatoes, and they are very green.
Nice.
And of varying sizes. So rather than wait for them to ripen up, like that one that took me like weeks for some reason to get to where I wanted it, I'm just going to fry these up as fried green tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
it's
such a
looking
good
forward to
dish.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, randomly enough, my dad used to make the fried green tomatoes in the house, which my dad has just a few things that he does, but that's one of them, and he takes great pride in it. And they're phenomenal. Just so good.
They're so good.
They're so acidic. I love the acidity of it with the saltiness. I can taste it now.
Ooh,
Tyler,
I'll
bring
make some
some. Taste test times 2.
All right.
Bring
y'all
me the
heard
first
it.
one that comes out the fryer, Tyler. Please.
Yeah, I want it hot. You know what? Just bring the fryer here.
Dip it in some Chipotle ranch, please, Tyler. I'm begging you.
Oh, that's
I bet
funny.
you do show up with some fried green tomatoes for Austin tomorrow.
Oh, I hope so.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't know if I was
Were you
planning on
saying
making
you were doing
them.
that tonight?
No.
Oh.
I don't. Well, soon, sometime this week. It's in
Do it
your
before they get
pre-planning.
red.
Well, it's going to take them a while, Austin. I've got the cursed yard, remember? The
yeah,
one
that's
where
right.
tomatoes never go to grow up.
Oh, that's so funny.
Hey, you
Well,
just
good.
quoted a line from our Halloween specials, Bates' Little Shop of Horrors, which we did get a question this past week, which
We
I don't
did.
believe you all answered on the show,
No, we didn't.
which I was very disappointed. But someone did ask if we will have a round 3, which yes, we will,
Featuring David.
featuring David Bates. And now I can't answer that right
Super question marks on that one.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
now. Maybe we could get him just staring at us.
But I
through a
tell you
bush.
what, he puts his full force support behind our efforts.
Yes, he does.
He loves that video.
Yep.
Those videos. I guess we've got 2 now.
It's the best time of year.
So-
If you have not
so
seen
goofy.
them, get on YouTube and search Bates' Little Shop of Horrors.
Yep.
It is so good. The 3 of us are all involved. Austin and I are in it. Ben Trest, Adam Chapman, Tyler does all the producing, editing of it.
Yeah.
They're very short. They're like, what, 12 minutes long a piece?
12? Are you
No.
kidding me? Like 3.
3
Yeah.
minutes.
3 to 5.
I was like, what?
All right, so
People have their
3
lives to
minutes-
get on with.
Listen, I wish it was 12 minutes. I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Maybe this next one will be. Just kidding. We don't need to be that long.
After the next one, it'll be 12 minutes total, likely, to watch all 3. So there you go.
It'll be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Well, Austin, what are you doing?
Oh, man. I'm getting ready to plant some trees here soon.
Enlighten us.
What trees?
American fringe tree.
Okay.
Don't you have a Chinese fringe
I
already?
do, and it's one of my favorite plants in the yard. Favorite trees, anyway.
Are they going to be holding hands in
Nope.
your yard? Nope.
Nowhere near each other.
Is this the one that a viewer got you?
Nope.
No.
No,
Okay,
that
never
was
mind.
that was different.
Oh.
This was one I got for free somehow. I don't remember how that happened, but it happened.
That's cool, regardless.
Very cool.
American fringe
Major
is such a
props.
cool tree plant. It's a shrubby tree, if you will. But if you're not growing it, like you need to be growing it. American fringe.
I'm going to need one.
They
of
were
those.
hard to find for a while.
They can be. They're somewhat slow to move.
Kind of low stock.
Also, I'm planting a northern catalpa tree.
Oh,
That's random.
right. That was the Mother's Day gift, right?
My wife loves that tree. I don't know why, but she does. So
It's a cool tree.
it is. It's a beautiful
Is
tree.
that the one that has the really long pea-like pods on them?
Yep. Some people
feel
call it
like
the bean tree. Or
It looks
something.
like the
The bean
Keebler
tree.
elf tree, kind of.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, they always send out like it seems like you never just have that straight single stem
No, it's like-
trunk. It's like very.
Big and rare.
It's like a.
Big
it's
and
like a.
wiggly.
It's like a Black Panther be laying on a limb or something.
Yeah, it's a jungle type tree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the way I kind of think of it.
Splayed out even.
Yeah. You're kind of like that. Beautiful white blooms in the spring, though.
Sprawling.
Uh-huh. And then, Tyler, followed by very long bean pods.
They get giant. Where are you going to put it?
Out in the yard.
Out in the yard. Okay, out in the yard. Got it.
It's got, I'm not sure yet, but out in the yard somewhere. Hey, y'all, I forgot to tell y'all, y'all know my purple leaf mimosa tree that got ambrosia beetle so bad this spring?
Is it still kicking?
Oh, yeah, it's still plenty alive. I mean, it's...
Really?
Which I'm very surprised about. I still haven't figured this all out in my head, but I cut it below where the ambrosia beetle holes were on the stem or whatever. I cut it below that, so I got rid of all that, burned it. And then, it's just sent out tons of bushy growth from the base, and it's just this little purple shrub now, pretty much.
That sounds kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you were so sad about it. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy that it was able to be saved.
Do you owe that to the vigor of the mimosa plant?
Probably a little, yes.
That plant is wild.
Were those essentially suckers that came up after that?
See, they didn't come from the ground, though.
No?
They came from the stem and the ground. So what's funny is it's mostly all purple, which is the cultivar. And then, one sucker sprout did come from the root, and it's totally green. Oh. So I know that it's coming out of laziness. I think it's still there. Pretty much, so. But anyway,
You're a weird one. I like you.
I like you. I'm going to keep you for a while.
So, just a couple things I'm thinking about. There's one other. I cannot think of what it is in my head right now. But I got another tree somewhere I need to plant. But it's getting to that time.
Plant me, Austin.
Yeah,
Plant me now. I planted a corkscrew willow yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You water it?
Yes, I watered it. Of course I watered it.
Because it needs it.
I did forget to water it before I planted it, and all the leaves done fell off.
Mm-hmm. They'll do that.
It is plenty alive and doing fantastic. And happy to be in the ground.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
What was that? Cool.
You know what wasn't cool?
What?
You weren't here for the show this last weekend.
That's right. I was gone.
You were not feeling well at all.
I was feeling a little under the weather, so I was not here. But Adam Chapman sat in for me, did a great job as always.
Mm-hmm. He did.
We love having him on the show.
Yeah.
But I did miss you guys. I do have a quick announcement, though. If you are interested, if you live in Nashville or the surrounding area, and you would like to come take an in-person class with myself or Austin, we are both teaching classes at Cheekwood this coming Saturday, October 5th. Austin has one at 12 p.m. It is a propagation class, just a general propagation, and then I have houseplant care at 2:30. You can register for that on the Cheekwood website. It's going to be fun. Y'all come on out.
Just to clarify, you're going to go to cheekwood.org. Cheekwood, just like it's spelled. You're going to go to...
Just like it's spelled, yeah, of course.
Well, I mean...
just like it sounds.
What if it was CHEEQUEWOULD?
Yeah.
What if it was like that?
It wouldn't be.
Well, Stop it, Austin. It's because you've grown up here your whole life.
Spelled like it's spelled.
All right. So then you click on Learn at the top of the page, then Adult Education Programs, and then you're going to scroll down. You're going to click on Learn More and the Cheekwood Gardening School. And then there, if you scroll down further, you will see the registration link. It's a little bit buried, but we found it. We dug it up for you.
We did.
Cool.
All right. We will share that info. But let's get into this week's episode. Like we mentioned, I was absent, but Adam Chapman filled my shoes in perfectly.
He did great.
He did.
They might have spilled over a little bit. Those
maybe
are some
just a little. Tiny little feet. Dainty feet, if you will.
Strong. Mighty.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
I'm going away now. I'm going to actually fade my volume out.
All right. I hope you all enjoy.
Speaking of fear, you know what? We had a little trepidation this morning, John.
Why is that?
Well, because we didn't really know who was
Caroline's not here.
How are we going to do this without Caroline?
know.
We're going to do it with Adam Chapman, and we're going to do it also with Austin Lowen. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
And Austin was, he's I'm sure got his own flood tales to tell because he wasn't able to be at work yesterday due to that.
Yeah.
And I guess you couldn't ford the stream to get out the front door, or it's the whole children thing. Of course, complicates things. Right?
It was the children thing, yes. So they canceled school yesterday in Cheatham County schools. So all the girls were out.
Yeah.
So which was probably smart. I got really lucky. I told y'all this morning, I got to about 2 inches before that water got to above my bridge, before it was going to go over and start wreaking havoc. So that was nice. It calmed down enough to where the water started to recede enough. And David, like you said, I think like we had talked about, we had been so droughty. Tyler dropped your phone.
Stop. Keep going.
It was so droughty that I think there was enough, everything was so low that there was enough water to go into, like, say, the river or whatever to get away from my yard. So got super lucky. I'm here today. I'm glad to be here.
You could almost hear the ground sucking because it was so, completely dry. And the testament to that was, as we were talking before we went on the air, that Whites Creek, even at about 6 a.m., as soon as it got daylight enough where I could kind of see, we had received maybe 2.5, 2 3/4 inches at that point yesterday morning. It was barely dingy, and surface rocks were still exposed. So even with that amount of rainfall, as slow as it had been falling and as thirsty as the ground was, most of it was just soaking straight in. So, from our perspective, and perhaps only from those of us in Middle Tennessee, it was an extremely beneficial rainfall. However, for many others, it was not. So we will gladly receive the benefit from it, and we really hated that it was a negative event for so many other people. That they're going to be dealing with it for quite a while. There will be people who will be without power for weeks, I suspect. So anyway.
Oh, easily.
So if you do have power, we appreciate you tuning in this morning, because we're here to talk about what you want to talk about. That's about things in the garden. And now that
inside or outside.
Yeah, now that we've got moisture in the ground for us here in the Middle Tennessee area, and that stretches on up into southern Kentucky, northern Alabama, throughout the area, we're really glad to be able to dig a hole in the ground. It's been pretty tough, guys, hasn't it?
Indeed, yeah. It's been. You almost have to get a pickaxe out or a jackhammer or something.
Pretty much.
Inundate your local Dickens store and get your aerator and your seed, because this week is going to be get it done.
You might almost need to let it
dry up
for a couple of days, because we've, as unbelievable as it is, we've gone from not having any available water to right on the edge here, and we needed what we got of it being almost too much. So you need to give that just a little bit of time. But I think your warning is correct. If you're planning on overseeding, you need to be getting those preparations underway right now, because there's no guarantee of what the weather will do after this. We have this extensive water recycling system where we can capture our runoff and return it to where we pump it, but that needs to not be in place when we are preparing for flood. So we had to get that out of the pump out of the tank and get all that rearranged so that we're ready for it. So it forces us, despite the fears of some others, it forces us to have to be attuned to the weather.
Oh, okay.
And after only 60-something years, I'm finally catching on. So anyway, I have made my share of mistakes. So I don't claim to be perfect on that. But yes, we have had
You're better than most on your worst day.
Or worse than most on my best day. I don't know. Anyway, one of those or the other. I know we have questions out there. Caroline obviously is not here today, and we're just going to call it the way it is. She's not well today.
Oh.
And, she would be here if she could be here. But that doesn't mean we don't have questions.
That's right. We have Instagram questions, and we got questions from the email.
What we're not going to question is how sick she actually is. We're not going to question that.
No, not at all.
Unless you mean sick in a cool way. In which case, she's the sickest, obviously.
Well, she can be both. Right now, she's both. She's
And one
her
new
mama's watching though. Hi, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry.
One new feature that I see is the residual, and shout out to Rachel Chapman, the the dear bride, the GM sitting right here.
Yes.
Thank you, Rachel, for being here last week. But if you go back to Tyler, put your cam back on there, please. I want to see. He's no longer live.
Oh.
Rachel, he got turned off somehow, so he's just here like the rest of us.
Okay.
Not alive. So
Yeah.
all right. So
You can't believe what you see here, folks. So, we're going to start with some overwintering questions. First of all, can I overwinter my Boston ferns indoors?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
you may regret it.
You might because they're super dirty.
You're going to have a lot of cleaning to do.
Yeah, you can just give them a shake and you'll lose, how many about 1,000 fronds each time you shake it. But
You really, in all seriousness, should do that about once a week. Give it, if you could carefully walk it out to the back porch or outside and give it a shake, then your mess is at least moved outside. But
They just make all that mulch for next year. Just leave it all in a pile in the garage. I mean,
they love bright light
Yes.
and they love humidity. And the lack of humidity is the bigger detrimental aspect.
In
for
the
them.
winter, yes, the air is much drier here.
I've heard Caroline refer to that as kitten pawing. You paw the fern to get
them out.
Yeah, to get the detritus out of the plant.
Yeah. Well, I think too. Also, don't expect them to look just
that
like
big
beautiful.
word, detritus. Cool.
Yeah.
Woo.
Debris.
Debris.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, there's going to be some of that, and then they're not going to look just picture perfect over the winter. Don't expect that. And I know Caroline would recommend cutting them back to the top of the pot before you set them back out next spring. So just to give you a whole fresh, start with your Boston ferns.
Most people tend to go, what? I'm just not going to deal with all that, and they just pitch them. When they start looking poorly, they say, "Okay, I'm done. I'll wait," because it will be a mess. You have to clean up throughout the winter, and it takes quite a long time to get through that curve. It's a period of months.
But it can be done.
It can be done, or it can be a slow death. So
Your choice. Okay, in addition to that, what do I have to do to my plants before I bring them indoors for the winter?
Well, I would certainly check them for any
Pesties.
either disease or insectoid.
Yes.
Insectoids.
Now you can use dormant oil before you bring them in, or neem oil if that's all you got too, and that will be a good thing to do.
What's the range of dormant oil? Is that on indoor plants as well? I mean, how?
yeah, you might really consider superfine sun spray oil if you want to. I mean,
SPF
dormant oil.
1000.
Well, it's just
But you could dilute it more than what the
you could do that. And and that's the difficulty of it is a lot of people don't. They hide all kinds of information on those labels.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So if you fail to read all of the label, and I'm not talking just to you folks out there, I'm talking to myself. When I don't use a chemical since yesterday, I had to reread the label. They keep putting new information on there.
That's why I mark it on the bottle.
Now, I will say that as a general rule, when you're bringing things in from outside, particularly if you have a lot of things already inside that are clean, I would clean them all. I would take them, I would either spray them and give them, while the weather's mild, and just go ahead and treat them as though, and then maybe go to the shower with them once you bring them inside and give them a hosing off, a closer inspection at that point, maybe spray again. Where people make the mistake is they just, they get this warning, hey, it's going to be a freeze tonight. You need to bring your plants in. And they bring them right on inside. And then about 30 days later, everything has scale and mealybugs on it.
Or gnats, because like Joyce said, she brought in some asparagus ferns last year with a couple million gnats.
Yes. So those are the that's the downside to being reactionary. You need to be thinking ahead.
Do any of your cleanup too, y'all. A yellow or brown leaf is not going to turn back green again.
No.
So prune them off, get them back clean, just like they said. Bring them in, they'll be fine.
I got a question about that now. I've got a hardy a hibiscus, and it's gotten quite big. Now, should I go ahead and trim it right before I bring it in, or how should I treat that?
It's a hardy hibiscus.
It's not hardy. I mean, I think it's a tropical.
You talking about tropical hibiscus? Yeah, give it a haircut before you bring it in. Yeah, do all your pruning before you bring it in. Because if it's too big already, it's going to be too big inside your house.
Well, it's going to be too big to get through the door.
And it's going to shed off all that foliage anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, get a bigger door.
Yeah.
There's that. Or build a greenhouse over the plant where it is. You can do
It's
that.
in the basement, so I mean it's a little tough to modify the
So if
stacked
it's
stone foundation.
If it's in the okay,
It's where it's going in the basement.
oh, it's going. in.
Going
It's
to
not
the
already there.
You did this last year too, didn't you?
Yeah, I do it.
Yeah, that's his overwintering location.
Yeah, I've had this hibiscus for 10 years.
So what'd you
now.
do
wow.
last year?
Yeah. It wasn't as big. Now
Yeah.
it got very root bound, and I transplanted it.
So
and
now
it-
you have more soil and more plant.
Oh boy, I've got a lot more soil.
You know what I think might be nice if you do, like say cut it back in half or whatever, we still have enough time in this season for it to probably reshoot new growth. That way you can bring it inside and it won't look as, stemmy or,
Okay.
pruned, if
Okay.
you will. So hopefully we have enough time in the season to get it back
Yeah,
leafy.
with the emphasis being on if you will.
If
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah, if you
Yep.
will. I don't know that you will.
Should
but
I
if
let
you will.
Diana do it? Because you know how she trims.
I'm going to let you deal with that one.
All right.
Is she a butcher or is it?
Straight lines.
Oh, she's going to cut the crepe myrtles. I said, don't cut the crepe myrtles. She said, well, I'm going to cut the crepe. Don't cut the crepe myrtles now. We're going to wait until spring. No, we're not. So
Yeah,
There
sounds like
you
your
go.
crepe myrtles are getting cut.
Whoa. All right. The October skies aster I planted last fall hasn't bloomed. Should I be worried?
I don't think I'd worry.
Maybe, or either that or double up on your worry. Sometimes plants do badly due to under worry. So if you will double up on the amount of worry, check that first. And it doesn't take very long to double up on your worry
No.
and to see whether it's going to make a difference or not. And then you can do what, Austin?
You can not worry. You can wait. Now, what you can see, looking at the plant, look and see if it's got buds on it. And you should see prominent buds
Yeah.
if it's going
at this
to bloom.
point, yeah.
But if it's not going to bloom this year, which it may not, because sometimes that happens on like if it was just planted last fall, it may still be getting established a little
Right.
bit, which happens. So if you're not seeing buds, it's probably not going to bloom. If you do see buds, wait it out. It will be pretty again.
It's never a bad time of year to add Earth Mix to your garden. Earth Mix garden products are sustainably sourced, living soils and amendments crafted to give you the best success for your gardening efforts. Establishing a raised bed? Use Garden Premium Topsoil Blend for an excellent performing growing medium for flowers and vegetables. Amend your gardens with their supernatural compost, with all the nutrients needed to recharge existing soils. For houseplants, their Proganics Indoor Grow Mix is a fantastic potting medium that will feed for up to 6 months without the need for additional fertilizer. Earth Mix is sold only at independent garden centers, so head over to earthmix.net/find Earthmix to locate one near you. Success begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products. We need to do something else, don't we, Austin?
I guess.
What's in bloom? With Austin.
Hey, y'all. Things are in bloom, but not very much anymore. A lot of things are going out. And especially on a day like today, a lot of those blooms are kind of just weighed down by water. But you know what? We're still going to go with it, okay? Echinacea's still going. But it's almost really on its way out. Like, it's about done. Almost time to be deadhead. And hey, Adam, you love abelia. Abelia's blooming. That one blooms longer than any shrub, I'm pretty sure. We also have roses that it's really, it's been kind of nice weather for roses. They're really showing right now. Rose of Sharon and crepe myrtle still going, almost on their way out. The Endless Summer Collection hydrangeas, those are not blooming off of the last year's wood, but they're blooming off their sucker sprouts, which is what's cool about Endless Summer, okay? They're blue right now, or pink, depending on your pH, but they are in bloom. Looking good. Probably looking better than any of the hydrangeas, actually, because the panicles, your limelights, and all those are just about out as well. They're starting to get brown, especially after this rain. They do not look good. Okay, Datura and Brugmansia. We talked about this a little last week. The moonflower points up. The angel trumpet points down, okay? Both very poisonous plants. Be careful with those, but they're beautiful, and they're blooming right now. Looking great. Hey, your goldenrod, that's your keystone species, okay? It is
So
blooming.
depending on which one you get poisoned by determines your eternal destiny. Is that what you're saying? If you get,
It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whether you
I
go
don't
up
know.
or down.
I don't know who was in charge of naming those, but it just occurred to me that maybe there's a connection.
It might be. It might be. Like I said, the goldenrod. It's looking good. Yellow. Tyler brought some into the room. Tyler, shout out, by the way. You did all of this room yesterday by yourself because me and Caroline weren't here. You did a great job. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. Hey, ageratum. That little blue flower. that's native. It's blooming, looking pretty right now. Let's talk about some annuals that look good. Celosia right now, y'all. Celosia is money power in the fall. It looks great. Petunias are still going. And then shout out, Caroline, hope you feel better. Your zinnias, they are still in bloom. Hey, y'all, we've got pansies. We've got mums. And you know what?
What?
The old aster is blooming. You know how I know?
We got some.
Because I asked her. That's what's in bloom.
Woo!
Yesterday.
Did you see the picture of the daylily that I sent you?
Oh yeah, you did send that daylily. That's a. I bet that's happy returns. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I've got some that are
it's
a yellow one.
Restarting.
And you can tell what a true friend that Austin is because he actually gave a shout out to zinnias, which he despises because he knows Caroline's under the weather. Maybe that makes her feel a little bit better.
I hope it does. I know she is down and out. So hopefully she gets back soon.
Yep.
There you go. That's
Cool.
blooming, y'all.
All right.
Blooming. Still going.
Let's dive on in further. What are these little white sprouts on my succulent plant? And I'm getting a photo up right now.
Oh.
From the stem right there, that elongated white thing?
Uh-huh.
It's probably a root, y'all.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like to me.
Succulents
aerial
root from
root.
all up the stems.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty incredible. Find where that, if you want to, you don't have to, but find where that root is, go right below it, make a snip, and then put that top part in another pot, and then let the bottom part of that foliage resprout and regrow. It's kind of nice to do that with succulents every once in a while, y'all. They get long and leggy, and they want to flop on you, so
Will that seek the dirt and then root down into the pot?
it probably would, yes.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Succulents are incredible
It's
like that.
hard to pull out of the pot if you wait that long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Succulents are so easy that you could literally cut that off, lay it on the top of the dirt, and it's going to root
and that
regrow.
you'll have leaves fall off onto the ground,
Yeah.
and then they will root.
They will
to
root
the ground.
too.
As long as it's, and the only enemy of that is excessive moisture. You
True,
know,
which
they are-
until the last 2 days we didn't really have one.
no,
No.
we did not.
Joan is asking or stating that I have a dogwood I dug up as a seedling and put in a pot 2 years ago. I put it in a bigger pot and threw in some periwinkles around it this spring. The dogwood has grown taller and looks healthy except for the leaves, and the leaves at the top are looking good, but lower leaves eventually brown, crunchy around the edges. Is it not getting enough nutrients? Root bound? I don't think so. What do you think's going on?
That's been the product of this year.
Yeah,
with
it's
all
just
dogwood.
it's been dry. It's been, and I would it's possible there could be without seeing the leaves. I don't know for sure, but it could be a little anthracnose in there too. You just never know with dogwood.
Particularly if it's a seedling dogwood,
Yeah.
you would believe it's Cornus florida, which is a native.
Probably.
So they're very susceptible to it. So it's not one of those things that is necessarily a pathogen of lethality, but it's just a thing you got to deal with.
Might be good once the leaves fall off to hit it with some dormant oil.
Yep.
Yeah.
And get rid of the
Help a
leaves
lot.
out of the pot, throw them in the garbage
Yep.
can.
Yep.
Hey,
just
Joan,
be
if you
clean.
want to send those pictures, you do that to gardeninginsideout@gmail.com. Probably won't see them today, but we'll see them during the week.
Yep.
And it's been even big dogwoods in the
Yeah.
ground have suffered this year, y'all. I mean, I know y'all have seen it.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
tons
Yeah.
of leaves that are not going that true fall color that dogwoods typically give us.
No,
now, hopefully, this rain maybe will get them back. Maybe
Sure.
at
Hopefully.
least the topmost parts of the plant.
Yeah, we're not going to have a stellar fall
No.
color season. We're going to have fall,
Yeah,
Yes.
literally.
Yes.
but but they're just kind of going to fall.
I would say the hardier, bigger trees like oaks probably will still have a decent.
well-established
Yeah.
trees,
Yeah.
and this rain will help those. But understory, smaller
Yes.
trees
No.
with surface kind of root systems, dogwoods are not going to be all that.
Nope.
I wouldn't expect them to be. But as long as your buds are holding on there, it's all
Yes.
good. And
Yes.
mine and my house are looking great with respect to that. And my foliage doesn't look any better than what you described on the one or what our viewer did on their note. Is
Yep.
that bottom foliage just looks crummy, and mine's not. Mine is a hybrid type that's not susceptible to dogwood
Anthracnose,
anthracnose.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, I've got the photo pulled up now. So this question comes from Bobby Humphreys. I wanted to ask your advice regarding 2 Canyon Creek abelias I have on the eastern side of my home. Both were planted at the same time. One is full and round and lovely. The other, planted in the same row, 2 plants down, is tall and leggy and sad. Should I cut back the leggy sad one? There's the photo of that.
Right.
Yeah, but I would wait though. I would wait until right before spring hits to cut because
Yeah, she said when and how far down.
you can cut it back as far as you want, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'd cut them back all the same, all at the same time.
yes,
And
sometime in late February,
yeah,
early March.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So
Because
you
want
want
to
growth
good
at the
mulch.
bottom.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah,
Look at
really
that.
That's
good
what I'm
mulch.
saying. You want to take advantage of that first spring
Love the
flush.
border too.
Yes.
And
And you can already see. Yeah,
That's
that
the good
one's
one.
Lovely. Yes. Now the other one you said, Bobby, you said it was leggy and sad. It's leggy. It ain't sad.
No.
I mean, it looks fine. And look at that growth from the base, and that's what
kind of
Adam's
looks
saying.
like a baby crepe myrtle
Yeah.
or
It
something.
does. He almost tree formed it.
And, and what you're going to get by cutting it back severely, and not just that one, but cut them all back where they're similar, is that those breaks that you see at the ground level are going to really push out so that the flush of growth that comes out and matures off of that will restore symmetry to those plants as opposed to them looking like they're kind of all over the map growth-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Adam was just saying. Take advantage of that spring flush that you
Yes.
get, all that energy that's being pushed.
Don't
Get some
wait.
groceries to it too.
Do not wait until after it flushes. That's,
Yeah.
and that's the most common error that people make. For whatever reason, they don't think about it until all this new growth comes out. You go, when should I do it?
Yeah.
51 weeks from now.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay. Moving right on with questions. This email question comes from Joyce Hooks.
Joyce.
Hey, Joyce.
Hey, Joyce. Been seeing you like every day. You're always here.
And we appreciate that.
We do.
I bought 9 anemones to add to my woodland area. Something keeps uprooting them. The guilty party leaves other plants, hosta, ferns, euchera, astilbe, ajuga, hellebore, untouched. They aren't eating them, just uprooting. What is it about anemones? Anemones.
Anemone.
easy for you to say.
Well, I think we had a discussion, me and Caroline, about me telling her the wrong way to pronounce anemone.
Yes.
Anemone.
That is very interesting, though, that
Yeah,
it's getting
it's hard
pulled
to
up
say.
and not being eaten. I mean, I would assume it's a mammal.
Yeah, could I mean, generally speaking, I don't know that it's something looking for whatever.
Yes.
I'm saying avian.
And if it was an
birdie out there
armadillo, it
getting
would be
something.
doing a lot more damage than that.
Looking for
so
the
it's
bugs
probably
in it.
something like maybe a skunk, maybe I don't know. It could be hard to say. This is where a trail cam comes in very
Yes, it does.
handy, because we can speculate at length. We don't know that any of them are right, but you get a picture or two, and we may be able to narrow it down a little
I mean,
bit.
there is the slightest possibility that it's a human.
Could be.
That'd be scary, Joyce.
Joyce also
mean,
commented that
What is Herbert doing out there?
Exactly. Exactly.
Herbert. Herbert. Okay.
That's Herb. It's her neighbor.
Oh, Herb. Okay. Joyce also said she scored a Skyrex japonica at the
yeah.
tree sale
Yes.
last
Yes, she
Sunday, and she named it the Abominable Snowbell.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joyce. Great name.
Thank you.
Yes.
You.
I saw you get that. I kind of talked you into that, I think. I love that
It's
tree.
one of
It's so
Austin's
good.
favorites.
It's a
It
great
really
tree.
is. It's a great tree. You know, real quick before we move on, do you think that since she just recently purchased and planted the anemone, maybe there's like a smelly fertilizer or something in it? And
That's
like
what I was
some
going to say.
sort of-
If they're newly planted and that's when they're easiest to pull out of the ground.
Yeah.
So
And we have been known to use organic fertilizers,
Yes,
and
and-
organic fertilizers are an
smell.
attractant.
yeah, it could.
frequently.
It could be a dog actually
Oh,
looking
maybe.
looking for the
No.
bone meal and blood meal or whatever
could
that's
be.
in
Oh,
it.
guys, do you see the photo on the left side? Hold on, I'm swiping over. Drama. Look at this
drama. Oh,
fertilizer.
Rabbit.
Isn't that-
fertilizer pellets.
Actually, it looks is that maybe it is fertilizer pellets.
Yeah, I
can't
think
tell.
so.
Okay,
That's
well,
probably what it is. Something that's got some sort of smell. Like,
Yeah.
if they're not eating the plant,
but
they're going
that's-
after something else.
That's sulfur coated fertilizer
Yes.
there, so it's not organic.
Nah.
That's a chemical type. So I don't know.
Who knows?
It would, we don't want to accuse her adorable little wonderful Buttons or whatever that dog's name might be, but
Cookie.
could be.
Now
Cookie,
we have a
cookie.
couple of questions on Facebook. Are you seeing these, Josh? Or
I'm not. What you're
on
watching.
if you're on the
Okay.
Bates page,
I am.
then that's you, man.
Okay,
so call them out.
so we have two questions. One from Kim Goddard.
Hey, Kim.
Can I cut my peonies down now, or do I need to wait for a frost?
we don't necessarily recommend you cutting them down now. Now, if you did, would it hurt them? No, it really wouldn't. No. It's just that you typically will get more energy down to that root zone if you leave as much green up as you can until dormancy.
Yeah. So, and then Barbara Gossett, should button bushes be cut back? If so, fall or spring, and how much?
We're going to put in a zipper or what?
Whatever you do, don't press the button.
No.
Never.
Yeah.
So button bush can be done over the winter if you want to. You're going to lessen your blooms in the spring if you do that. But hey, we all know button bush. It gets big. It gets unruly. If you got to do it, you got to do it. So let's let the leaves drop. Let's let dormancy happen. And then over the winter time, let's give that you could almost go severe. Like a word could be severe because they get very big. So cut them back in half if you need to. And it'll be great. Be bushy and lovely.
Yep.
Those things do not joke around with how big they get.
No joke.
Like I've seen some 8x8.
I've seen a woman. Pam Rice, a good friend of ours who comes out. She's got a magnificent garden, and we toured it one time long ago. That was like probably 6 years ago. We toured her garden, and she had a button bush that she had tree formed. It literally looked like a little crepe myrtle.
It was pretty cool.
It was sweet. Yeah, those stems were like huge on it, and then it went up to the foliage up top. It was a beautiful thing. So
what a good idea.
Yeah, you can certainly tree form them if you don't feel like you want to cut, but if they're getting too big, you got to just take them. And they're a good native for around here, y'all. You're not going to hurt them. Not going to hurt them. You know, some say there ain't no cure for the summertime blues. But we say Bates Nursery is. Located in Nashville, Tennessee, Bates Nursery and Garden Center is a separate world unto itself. They feature the widest variety of plants, including trees, shrubs, native plants, perennials, houseplants, and specimen evergreens. Their knowledgeable staff will assist you with any gardening needs, catering to any experience level. Open year-round, and Caroline, tell them how to get here.
Bates Nursery is located minutes from downtown Nashville off Briley Parkway, exit 19 in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. You'll see it's worth the drive from anywhere. No time to visit the nursery? Shop online with delivery and pickup options available for the greater Middle Tennessee area at www.batesnursery.com.
So if you want to learn a lot about living and a little about love, visit Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
We got this email from Jesse Strauss. This photo is incredible.
Wow.
Oh.
Hi there.
nice.
Since Austin was so excited to learn about frostweed last week, I thought I'd share another Middle Tennessee native that's just come into bloom. White snakeroot, a.k.a. Ageratina altissima. It is entirely deer resistant as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
There it is. And because of that, has formed a full stand at the wood's edge in my backyard right along the deer's
Nice.
established path.
There you go.
Here are a couple of photos of the snake root along with a late summer photo of the garden. Aromatic aster has not yet burst.
So, we need to be selling that as a deer barrier.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
And P.S. I planted both crossvine and clematis earlier this summer. So far, the crossvine is about 3 to 4 feet tall across multiple stems.
Yes.
And the clematis is about 8 to 12 inches tall. Just saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Just
saying.
saying.
That's
Score
what,
one for Team Crossvine.
Hey, I never
I'm
said
saying.
clematis was faster than crossvine, okay? I never said that.
And then an actual question here with other images. I have one more question. I moved to my house in 2022, found this old crepe myrtle. It must be 30 years or more.
It must be Natchez.
I'm counting around 25 trunks, which my hands wrap about halfway around, and it's about 30 to 40 feet tall. How would I even begin to prune this thing? It barely
Chainsaw.
flowers
Chainsaw.
and
Chainsaw.
got to bring the chainsaw out.
needs a good rejuvenation. Look at that.
Yes.
Just
So you're going to pick the stems you want to keep. Typically for me, like we talk about, it's like 3 to 5. You've got 25. You've got to first things first is cut the biggest stems at the ground level, okay? The ones that you don't want. You got to remove those first. That'll get it to where you can see what you're playing with. And then after that, like I said, you're going to typically keep the stems off of each other, vase-shaped if we can. You're going to get them back down to the stems you want, and then after that, you're going to top. You're going to shorten to bring that thing back down, and it's going to give a lot more, branching. It's going to more branching habit, more flowers next year.
And as big as that particular specimen is, it's going to be a multi-person job.
Yes.
You don't want to do that by yourself because you're dropping small trees on yourself.
Pretty much, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it could be very dangerous. And to a side note to what Austin just said, which is spot on correct, get you a little roll of flagging tape and flag the ones that you're thinking about them, and then that way you can put them kind of at eye level or slightly above and be able to determine, are they spaced about right? Because as he was alluding to, it's not necessarily the biggest ones you're going for. You're trying to get the larger specimen ones. Obviously a Natchez like that one has that wonderful cinnamon exfoliating bark, so it's a very showy looking bark, but you want them to have some symmetry to them of the ones that remain. So you're trying to make that selection so that they kind of look like fingers sticking up like that. There's some spacing. You don't want to leave branches that are crossed or anything that's too close together. So you'll have that opportunity to do that, put that flagging tape on there, and then once you get in, you can start easily working from the edge and get the other things out of the way.
Clean up around it too.
Yeah, don't do that by yourself.
No,
There's I've got one at the front of my house that I've got a branch I would like out of, but I have chosen to not do it. And
you have chosen not to do it.
It has been chosen
not to be done.
Not to be done.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that.
Okay, let's see here.
I've got a question.
Okay.
Bring it on, Adam.
Caitlin McGill-Wade asks, I need to move my smoke tree. Should I move it now or wait until it gets a little cooler? The rain is finally here, so I know I'll have to cut it back, and I'm nervous. So I would say
exercise is always good for nerves.
Yes.
correct.
Correct.
But when you're done
do
with
it in
that,
January.
you want to. I would wait till it's dormant because you can do both at the same time. You can cut it back and then move it. And the best thing is to go ahead and have the hole ready where you're going to move it. That way you can just get it all done in one swoop. So
Yeah. Don't be nervous.
This might be Caitlin that I went to high school with. Caitlin.
Oh, wow.
Girl, I hope it is. I hope you are listening right now. I miss you. I have not seen you in a while. And I remember when you bought this smoke tree. I tried to talk you out of it. You didn't listen. And I'm pretty sure you got it. And I really hope this is the right person. But Caitlin, if this is you, love you. Glad to hear from you. Move that smoke tree. You're not going to hurt it. Do it over the winter like Adam said. You can't hurt a smoke tree, girl.
No.
Oh, Caitlin, I hope this is you.
But don't be nervous about it.
Don't be nervous, Caitlin. Never.
Just pick the right time.
So
It'll be fine.
one more thing. Kim Goddard asked one more question. Can we repeat the name of the bush that the deer didn't eat? That was the snake root, correct?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't put that up on the screen.
We could, but we're not going to. We're not going to repeat the name snake root, right?
White snake root.
Yeah. Gary wants to know, is it too late to trim yews?
What time is it?
I got 2 minutes until 9. So.
I would say just for shaping purposes, don't cut them back severely right now. You just cut the long ends off if you
cut
really
the rams, not the ewes.
You maybe.
That's an old one, Dave.
Yes,
I've been using that one
is.
for years.
It is.
We're talking YEW, not EWE.
Oh,
Or YOU for that matter.
use.
All right. We got any questions?
Joyce wants to know, will Sugar Shack button bush get that big?
It's supposed to be a dwarf, but yes.
Exactly. Dwarf is relative, Joyce. It is relative.
Tyler, shout out from Emily. She says the green room looks great today on camera. Great choices.
Is that Emily Boyd?
Thanks.
Emily Boyd.
Of course. Thank you, Emily.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And let's see.
Jane
Jane wants to make sure that Caroline feels better. She sends her best wishes too. So
good.
She misses you.
Well, based on the frequency of her missing, which is almost never. I don't think she's ever had a sick day since we've been doing this. She has had some planned days off, but so we do wish Caroline well. Get well soon. Yes. Because she does bring a lot to the party.
Yeah, I'm a poor substitute for Caroline. I'll say that.
You did great, Adam.
She smells better, at least.
Well, that's very true.
That's true. All righty, folks. We're going to close out this edition of the
Thanks for
Gardening
tuning
Inside
in.
Out program. Hey, if you're out there on any of the social media, Instagram, if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Let the whole world know that we're here for you every Saturday morning from the Green Room Studios here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Thanks again for viewing us. We'll see you next Saturday morning right here from Bates.
Love you, Mom. Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time, on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.